Oh, it's quite dark. Hello, everybody. Stephanie here. Greetings from Mikasa, and I'm so not sure why it's so dark. It's not that dark in here in real life. Well, I guess I'll have to sit up. So, hello, everybody. Still hanging in. I don't have my glasses on, and it is a little dark, I guess. I checked the lighting and the camera a minute ago, and it looked fine. So, oh well, it is what it is. So, hello to all. Just checking in. Only came live once last week, and just talking about getting readjusted and trying to transition into whatever this role is right now. And so, I don't know, I'm sure I'm not the only person in this boat that maybe, I don't know if a crossroads is the right word for it. So there's about 1,000 different directions that I could go right now in my life. What I don't want to do is step into a path that's not unfolding for me. And that's very much how things usually go with me. Is that looks like a good idea, and my father-in-law taught many years ago that sometimes, most of the time, we all go towards good ideas, but what we don't do is wait for God ideas. And so however you want to look at that or think about that, but I use the terms the path unfolding for that reason, is because sometimes it really, you don't know until it's time. And so it's waiting and waiting patiently and trusting the process and all of these things that are very foreign to me and to lots of other people too. I'm not the only one. And again, this is a journey, life is, and the healing process is a long one, and just stepping in to your purpose and living out your passions and your dreams and your dharmas. That's what we're here to do, is I truly believe that we are spiritual beings having human experience, and we get so wrapped up thinking that we're, in our humanity and have these spiritual moments, and, it is what it is. And so what was I going to talk about tonight? Well, I'm just trying to get back into the grind of things. And so, just being very mindful and purposeful in what I'm doing, and reflecting. That's the word I'm looking for. So I have worked from home since the kids came along. I've done some things outside of the home where I could still work from home. I've contracted with different people and done different things. And then we have the oil business, and we run the nonprofit or the refinery. We have all these little things that all go towards this big purpose in my life, which is to help others find healing and wholeness. And I'm ready to step into something bigger. I don't know. I feel like I'm standing at maybe the threshold is a different word for it, and not knowing where the path is unfolding. Is anybody else out there understanding what I'm saying? Because I feel like there are a lot of us in my tribe, and a lot of us who are on the same wavelength and frequency that probably are feeling the same thing, that you're like, something major is happening. Like I'm waiting on this. I know I'm on this path. I know that there's, something more out there, and I just don't know where it is or how I'm getting there. And so just waiting patiently, I'm allowing myself to look back at some things. And so I realized that this is the first, because gratitude is really the key, right? And I'm having, in these challenging moments, staying at home with the kids. So for those of you who are staying home in the summer with the kids, like, I'm with you, high five, like, we're doing it. Pretty sure we're more than halfway there. Told you guys I don't normally count down the days, and I have the mom guilt from hell because I have been counting down the days, and I just want to enjoy every precious moment with these guys while we're in this present moment, because it's fleeting and they're growing up. But it is challenging. And so, like, why is it so challenging? Well, I mean, one of the things is that, I talked about this last time, is that, they were all in school full time this year. And so, there's a little bit, they're getting older, and maybe desiring more I don't know. I don't know if it's just to keep themselves like their mind stimulated, or if it's because I've created these monsters over the last every summer of their lives, that I have had the days scheduled from the morning until the evening when Neil would come home from work. And really, honestly, summers are probably busier than school years, which if you can, that makes my head tilt. But I have a little more control of what we're doing. I don't know. Or it could be age, could be all of the things. And I've never worked, so like this is the first time, so the yoga studio, I'm having to leave to go to work. And even though it's just an hour, I'm teaching 2 classes on Tuesday and Wednesday morning at LifeSpring in Canal City. And because I've had to cut back on my schedule because there was no way I could do it with the kids at home and Neil working this insane schedule that he works. And so I kept saying that this must just be us in a transitional period. Well, it's not. This is obviously what it's going to be like right now and all the way through the rest of the summer. But what I'm finding is peace in the transition. And so that's something new to me. So if you've been in yoga class lately, one of the biggest things that I've been focusing on is the space between. So not just the space between each posture, each asana, but the space between the vertebrae and the spine, the space that we can create with the breath, the space in between the inhale and the exhale. And it's this space. And so if we take this off the mat into life, it's the space between each stage. It's the space between each season. Sometimes that transitional state takes longer than we expect. And so if you ever have done the suspension of breath after the inhale, it's like, when are you going to allow me to exhale? And I hear from my students when we practice this, I can like hear you calling me like, say exhale. Anyway, we usually do the suspension of breath between the inhale and exhale, because the suspension of breath between the exhale and the inhale is a little scary and anxiety driving for a lot of folks, because that is the last breath you'll ever take on this earth, is the exhale. And so somehow pausing after that is a very freaky thing. I've experienced it too. So anyway, I don't know how we went off into that tangent, but the space between. And so I've been living in the space between this week. So since the last time I went live, and as much as I want to focus, and which is really what I'm doing, on this path to unfold and which direction to step next, it's not happening right now. But what I am finding is a renewed interest, and I don't want to say love. It's too much of a strong word. Taking care of the family. So like, it's just been really nice being here and cooking meals. Like, it's been very sporadic. And up until, you know, it's not been a secret that things were pretty traumatic and crisis situation here before summertime. And so there weren't family meals there, you know, we were cooking, but everybody was kind of eating in different places. And I don't know, it was just weird. So I'm finding that's where I'm finding some gratitude. So that's what I'm saying, is sometimes we have to stretch to find the gratitude. So like, you know, I was really try not to complain, but I just try to be real with what I'm saying. So like, no, it's not been fun. Like, this has not been the best summer, and I don't really appreciate like all of the fighting and bickering between the kids, and some meltdowns and some things like that. But I'm thinking that as I'm healing and evolving, I'm seeing this happen in one of my children that I'm not going to target. And I was realizing, like, it's so important that we're here and we're doing this right now, and that we're not too busy, that we can be here in the home and like work on some of these behavioral things, because I'm not going to send them to school. I'm not sure what teacher this child will have. I don't want to do that to anybody else. And so finding the gratitude to be able to do that, and then finding the gratitude, you know, in the midst of it, being angry, and then somebody being like, I would love to be able to stay at home with my kids. And so like, who am I to complain about my situation? Because somebody else would love to be in my shoes. But, you know, that's the way that it is in life. Like, some days I'd love to be in somebody else's shoes, but that's it. It's like finding the love for our own shoes. And then also being honest that it's not always easy. So, for that person who wishes that they could stay home with their kids and maybe resentful that they can't, like, okay, find some gratitude because maybe it wouldn't be all that you think it's going to be. And that's it, is like, I could go back and what if, or go back and like, I don't really do regrets, but some things I could do differently. But anyway, what I'm saying is be grateful for whatever it is. But sometimes it is a stretch. And so that's what it's been for me, is stretching beyond like this place where, I would really be grateful if I knew what step I was taking next in my future. But I'm okay, because the process is going to take the time and it's going to unfold as it's supposed to. But in the meantime, let's enjoy this meal. And so again, to Hani out there, we're so grateful for that lesson of mindful eating and being able to do that, to enjoy that time together around the table, and being grateful for, having a good meal to eat. And not having a resentment to come clean up afterwards, because anybody who knows me knows that domestic house chores are not my gig. I believe we all should clean up after ourselves. So the stay-at-home mom thing was a stretch for me from the beginning. And I've said this before, and I say it with no apologies to anybody, that it was a sacrifice to me. It has been a sacrifice to me, and it continues to be a sacrifice to me. My children are worth the sacrifice. And again, it's just a short period of time. And again, it's not easy. So again, high five to all of you out there doing it. But it is a stretch. So isn't that funny? So I found doing some laundry today and vacuuming the floor while the husband and the oldest cut some grass. And I was like, when did just having a normal family day become so cherished? Like, that would have been boring, and I'm in my 20s. That would have made me want to pluck my eyeballs out my day to day and finding sheer bliss in it. But you know what? We grow up, we mature, and hopefully we heal as we go along. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is stretching to find that gratitude. So where are you in your life in comparison to where you would like to be? And are you working towards, sorry, like all over the place. Are you working towards fulfilling your passion and the purpose that you have in this journey on this earth? And how aware are we that those resentments, those negative thoughts, the impatience of it not happening is actually deterring it from happening? So I'm being very conscious, again, about how I'm thinking about things, the words that come out of my mouth in those moments of frustration. I'm seeing some definite changes. Again, you don't, this is a Kelly Harper quote, you don't turn the ship around on a dime. It takes some time to turn it around. And I definitely know we were heading in a different direction, but not still quite sure of the destination or the path that we're taking to get there. So it is what it is. So stretch to find the gratitude, because it's when you find the gratitude that it unlocks that negativity. And so it really is rising above the murkiness of the moments, and see that's that beauty of that present moment, is really being in the present moment, knowing that this is part of the process is different than being in the present moment and not trusting and flailing and being afraid. I hope this is making some sense to some of you all out there. I'm having a hard time articulating, which is why I haven't really gone live, because I'm in the middle of processing my own stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm not at liberty to discuss as far as like future endeavors, because really there's not anything concrete to discuss. There's just ideas. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful like situation to have this knowing of unlimited possibilities, and knowing that you're eventually going to take one of those paths, but just again, that waiting and patience. So they used to say, don't pray for patience, because then he'll give you challenges in life to learn patience. But I don't know that that's necessary. I don't know that I believe that so much, is that it is just the evolutionary process of ourselves that will bring patience upon it. I mean, it's just one of those gifts of the Spirit, right? And so when we're connected, it starts to come naturally to us. And so I don't usually get preachy about that, but I've been reading that Jen Sincero book, and I love, some people I know get really offended by the language, and like I've said before, it doesn't offend me at all, and I just love the plainness of what she's saying, and in your face about it, and that it's like, just connect to something deeper than yourself, whatever that is. So for so many of the people out there who have been hurt by organized religion and all of those things that don't want anything to do with that, it's much easier to say that, connect to something deeper within the self. And then that's where you start to develop anything. Anyway, I'm totally going off on a tangent, not where I wanted to go with this evening. So stretch for that gratitude. Stretch for it. Sometimes it is throwing both, I have the hands up, as we can't see because it's so dark, throwing both hands up in a surrender. You have no control over the situation, and saying, I surrender and I trust whatever comes next. That can be very scary and very difficult, depending on what you're facing. But it's the very step that you need to find to the next thing, where you start to bobble the head above the water, where you can maybe start to see a little bit of land, where you get that hope and the gratitude that you survived, right? And so keep stretching for it. I'm going to continue to stretch for it. Hello, everybody who's tuning in. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next or when you'll see me next. There's a lot of things going on. So like I said, as I'm transitioning back into my, putting my hat on at the yoga studio, and being really excited of what I'm seeing on the calendar and the docket of things that are coming up. So you'll start to see some of that. And then we've been starting to meet back with Elevate. We usually take that little time off in the summer for everybody to reset. And so we're getting geared back up, and then preparing for this next school year, which is just around the corner. So there's those things. So I guess what I can tell you is, for those of you who are looking to find balance, for those of you who are oilers or been to the refinery to do holistic training and make and take home some oily infused products, those kind of got put on the back burner with teacher training, and I haven't started those back up yet. And so that may be on the calendar coming soon. So keep an eye on that. So I haven't been seeing any clients individually, or even in group or marriage or family. I haven't really done anything since we were gone in June. So what I'm saying is, I think that some hours are going to start to open back up there. The wait list, I think, is null and void, because some of those people have been on there for a year. So if you're interested, something's happening. Low network. So for those of you interested, just keep an eye out on that. I'll let you know hours of availability. The third thing, somebody opened the door and I totally got sidetracked. Total squirrel. One of the things that we have taught, Neil and I, a workshop that we've done prior to yoga, is about finding balance. And so it just goes really well with those of you who are in yoga, or anybody who's not doing yoga. This is going to be for everybody, but it's finding balance off of the mats and how to find balance in life. And so it's Ula inspired workshop. But if you have the book, or if you've come to one before, it's not all Ula. So there's a lot of other things that we integrate into this workshop. And so we'll be putting that out there on August 4th at 12:30 at LifeSpring. So if you're interested in that, that would be great. This will put the accountability group that y'all heard me mention before. It's probably going to come out of that as we begin to make our plans of how we're moving forward on our things. and the purposes and the passions of our life. So that's a big thing. And then what we're talking about, Elevate. So the kids are wanting to take some type of trip before the summer is over, the student council. And so they took it upon themselves to look up different fundraisers. And they really found one that was really good. There was no investment up front for them, something that they can go and do on their own. And they have been. So for those of you who live in our neighborhood, they may have been soliciting your homes. I didn't give them permission to do that. They did this all on their own. I'm really proud of them. I am a little concerned. Thankfully, I think one of the parents have been going with them. But they're selling these local coupon books, little card sticker things. So I'll probably post pictures about that later if you guys want to support them to take a little trip outside of their current surroundings. And then the pantry is empty. So we're 5 weeks out from school starting, a little less than 5 weeks out from school starting. And we're probably not going to start backpack snacks, I would say, until the end of August after that first week of school and we get settled in and know the numbers. But the pantry is empty. So we've been in worse situations than this. There's some funding there. We'd like to not have to touch it because my goal is always to have it completely funded before the school year starts, and that has not happened. And the funding that is there is not necessarily earmarked for backpacks, but and this is why the kids always kind of get I want to say screwed, so I'm just going to say it. They always get screwed on getting a nice, because we used to take them for a camp trip, like for a couple days, and we just can't afford to do that because all the money that comes in goes to backpack snack. So it would be really kind of nice if, so that's what I told them, that we put something out that if businesses wanted to support a student for the year, or if they wanted to support 1 month or whatever, that we would be sure to let our people know, and we yell it from the rooftops when we have somebody support us, because we can't do what we do through the nonprofit with all of you guys. So it's coming up, backpacks. So there's like so much in this transitional time, because we're midsummer, and it's like I don't want to think about this already, but at the same time my mind is there already counting down the days, so we might as well just get to it. So those are the things that are going on. So keeping myself busy but not busy. It's a nice little balance that's going on. I'm finally learning about spinning those plates much better than I did before. So I'm interested to go back through, skim the book, and go through some of the exercises that we've used outside of ULA in this workshop. Because when we do the workshop, we work it all together. And so I'm trying not to do the work ahead of time because I want to work with you guys who show up to that. So that's August 4th at 12:30 at Life Spring in Canal City. I'd like to see you guys there. So there's no yoga involved in this. So I know some of you will be really sad to know that. There are oils involved in this. So some of you who are oilers will be excited to know that. But it's for every level. And, again, I think that it helps us jumpstart. So even for those who aren't home with kids, summertime just brings on chaos. And so doesn't it seem like August, September, we're all ready to refire in life, like have a new trajectory. And so that's exactly what this workshop is going to do, is help us find that and plot that course. And then we usually need another one of those in January. So I guess you can go ahead and mark in the calendar. We'll probably do another one of these in January. Anyway, if you've done this before, you know part of the protocol of doing it, and so you can see the value in. You would want to do that again when your life has adjusted. We've got to adjust the cells, right? Because you're going in a different direction. But so keep reaching for the gratitude. There are some wonderful little plugs for some things that are going on. So I'm not hanging out at the pool all the time. Now you will see me there from time to time. And like I said, I'm watching, and I'm full support of all of those moms chasing those kids. But I am so loving that they are all swimmers, and we have really good lifeguards on staff, and I can just take a few minutes to breathe at the pool. But yeah, I'm working on other things too. So I'll let you guys know as things are going on. I'll post pictures in the comments below about those little coupon books. The student council would really, really like if you all would support them. and I'm terrible. I'm a terrible leader because I have no idea how much they cost, or anything, because they really did do this on their own, and I'm really proud of the initiative that these young guys are taking. Oh, somebody's saying something and I can't see. Well, hello, whoever's saying it, because I do not have my glasses on, and it is getting darker in here by the minute. But much love to you all out there. It might not be too long till you see me again. I'm not sure. I can't promise. I may go live from the studio tomorrow. So if you haven't liked Life Springs Facebook page, go do that now, because you'll see that tomorrow. Again, but I'm not going to confirm or deny that. But much love. Leg